Now on Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, President-elect Trump announces more picks for his leadership team. The latest just ahead. President Biden changes U.S. policy. We'll tell you how it helps Ukraine in its war against Russia. Plus, Victoria County Commissioners meet today. We'll share a few items from their agenda. All that and more coming up.
And we're tracking the first of two cold fronts coming our way over the next 48 hours up in North Texas, spawning lots of thunderstorms up there and severe weather. Will that come our way? No, but we will have some rain. We'll talk about that and more coming up in the weather.
Week 13 of AP Post Sunday is out. See where the Aggies and the Longhorns land coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and thank you for joining us.
Yes, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Monday. It's the beginning of another week.
That's right. It's the beginning of another week, and I am sure going to miss that beaver moon we had all weekend.
I actually got out and looked at it, Carolina, because you reminded me about it. It was very big and very pretty.
It's gorgeous.
It was very bright, too.
And we're ready for the cold front on a Wednesday. We got to crank up those heaters soon.
Oh, yeah. Got to turn them on soon.
And we just had a fun question of the day. The answer was Mickey Mouse.
That's right.
In case you missed it.
That's right. And if you didn't catch that question of the day, you can find that on our Facebook at Crossroads Today. But if you're all tuning in with us right now, you're looking live in Victoria, and I promise you, your eyes are not deceiving you. That camera is shaking. It's because it's a little bit windy out there this morning. We're talking winds sustained about 20 to 25 miles an hour. Gusts up to about 35, maybe even 40 occasionally, so just be careful if y'all are driving on the roads this morning. But with that southeasterly wind coming out of the Gulf so strong, it's a warm morning, 78 degrees for November 18th. But looking at your winds all across the Crossroads, we're not the only ones here in Victoria. We are all experiencing that wind, so like I said, just be careful on the roads this morning. If y'all are driving, that wind will be tossing your car a little bit back and forth. But all those winds and strong winds and all that front is actually coming off this gigantic low pressure trough that dug real far south in the Rockies. We talked about that last week, but that front is actually all the way in North Texas, like I just said, spawning lots of severe weather up there. That's not going to come our way, the severe weather part, but we will have some rain. That's going to come around noontime. So if you're seeing your kids at the door, no need to pack them an umbrella. It's going to be nice today. We're going to look at that and more coming up next.
President Biden has authorized Ukraine to use U.S.-supplied long-range missiles to strike deeper inside Russia. This marks a major shift in U.S. policy, and it would allow Ukrainian forces to strike within Russia for limited strikes. The easing of the long-held restrictions come as North Korea has deployed thousands of troops to support Russia in its war against Ukraine. We'll go to Washington for more later. Now to the transition of power in Washington. President-elect Trump making new staff announcements. Meanwhile, some of the people he's already nominated for top jobs are facing new scrutiny. A Republican senator is now calling for an ethics report on Attorney General nominee Matt Gaetz to be released.
Warning new indications that the team assembled by President-elect Trump is ready to shake up Washington.
We expect certain agencies to be deleted outright.
Vivek Ramaswamy, heading up Trump's Department of Government Efficiency with Elon Musk, suggests they plan to delete entire federal agencies.
We expect mass reductions in force in areas of the federal government that are bloated.
Ramaswamy has said the Department of Education should be shut down. Trump last night named Brendan Carr as the next FCC chairman. Carr, the senior Republican among the FCC's 5 current commissioners and a vocal supporter of Elon Musk, accuses big tech companies of censoring some viewpoints. Carr recently posted a letter he sent to Apple's Tim Cook, Meta's Mark Zuckerberg, and the heads of Microsoft and Google's parent company, warning them Americans have lived through an unprecedented surge in censorship. Your companies played significant roles in this improper conduct. Carr adding, the censorship cartel must be dismantled. Also over the weekend, Trump nominated Chris Wright as Energy Secretary. Wright is a fracking executive who claims the effects of climate change are overblown.
There is no climate crisis, and we're not in the midst of an energy transition either.
Meanwhile, some Republicans are skeptical Trump's pick for Attorney General, former Congressman Matt Gaetz, can be confirmed by the Senate. They want to see a report by the House Ethics Committee. ABC News previously reported a woman told the committee Gaetz had sex with her in 2017 when she was 17 years old. Now, another woman's lawyer tells ABC News, my client testified to the House Ethics Committee that she witnessed Matt Gaetz having sex with a minor. Gaetz has denied the allegations.
I have not had a relationship with a 17-year-old. That is totally false.
Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
On Sunday, President Biden became the first sitting U.S. president to visit the Amazon rainforest. The president is on his way to the G20 summit in Rio de Janeiro and stopped in the Amazon's largest city for an aerial tour. Biden was accompanied by Nobel laureate Carlos Nobre, who says the Amazon may be beyond saving from deforestation. He met with indigenous leaders and then signed a proclamation designating Sunday as International Conservation Day. Victoria County Commissioners meet today at 10 a.m. Here are some items from their agenda. They'll consider reappointing the Victoria County Fire Marshal. They'll also consider holding a public hearing regarding the Green Energy Origin LLC tax abatement and consider approval. And they'll receive a notice of the Best Friend Animal Society grant programs for the Victoria County Animal Services. And it's a notice of a $10,000 grant allocation and to execute a grant agreement for an award amount of $19,800. The court meets at 115 North Bridge Street on the second floor of the courthouse in room 241. Last week, the Goliad City Council approved a ban on TikTok on city devices. The City Council's resolution, effective immediately, bans the use and installation of certain internet applications, including TikTok. Last year, the state legislature passed a bill advising all government entities to ban TikTok from being displayed on government-issued devices. There are 11 other applications and 6 hardware manufacturers on the prohibited list. Remember, follow us on our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time now, looking at our clock up here, it is 6:35 on our Monday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. The spirit of the holidays is starting to take hold of the Crossroads. We take a look after the break.
Perry Russom in Washington. President Biden changes U.S. policy on Ukraine. It could be a game changer in their war. That story coming up.
And also coming up next after the break in the full forecast, we'll take a look at the timing of the front that's passing through northwest Texas. But coming up later on Sunrise, how about another front? We'll take a look at the timing of the next front coming later this week.
Corporation is heating up in Bloomington with an election May 3rd. Residents are raising concerns about the push to incorporate the town.
Well, my hopes are that we can go ahead and try to rule the town ourselves and not let corporations come in here and tell us what to do.
What does it mean for the community? Join 25 News Now Sunrise anchor Carolina Astrain for Bloomington Boundaries, a 25 News Now Extra, Thursday night at 10.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. You're looking live in Cuero. Still plenty cloudy out there with that southerly wind bringing all that humidity into our area. But with it being so breezy out there, I want to let y'all know still please be careful on the roads before that front passes through and that starts to calm down the winds. But with that south wind bringing all that warm air out of the Gulf, 76 degrees in Cuero, plenty humid at 86%. No fog with that level though. But looking at your radar this morning with all that humidity in the air, that's pretty much guaranteeing you're going to see some spotty showers out there with lots of lift with the front nearby. In fact, just over the last 10-20 minutes, we actually had just a few more spotty showers starting to develop in our eastern counties. But other than that, all the big stuff is coming later today at around noontime. It's all coming off this gigantic trough and front that's passing through North Texas, bringing lots of severe weather up there. But that's not going to come our way, at least the severe weather part. We are still expecting rain because looking at your future clouds and radar for today, I do have chances today at 70%, and I think it's going to pass through our northwestern counties first at around 9 to 10 a.m., passing through DeWitt County probably around 11 a.m., passing through Victoria County sometime between 11 to noon time, and then passing through our coastal communities 1 or 2 or 3 p.m. Then after that passes through, we're looking at real sunny and clear skies for the next 4 or 5 days. But in the background today, it's going to be very nice in terms of temperatures. Today's highs are going to be in the morning time. I'm thinking 84 in Victoria, and after that front passes through, we're looking at lovely upper 60s maybe even for some, and low 70s. But if that one wasn't enough for you, we're going to have another one coming on Wednesday, and that's going to bring the 70s for good, and we'll look at that coming up next.
Saturday, college football for Texas was a victorious one, to say the least. The two Texas teams in the Longhorns and the Aggies both successfully won their respective games. Longhorns beat the Razorbacks, and the Aggies beat the other Aggies in New Mexico State. So what does that mean for the top 8, for the top 25? If you're a Longhorns fan, you might be content because they remain as a top 3 team in college football, just below Ohio State, and Oregon remains number 1. And yesterday's win also meant the Longhorns are now the number 1 team in the SEC, and just below them is the Aggies. And you could say the good news for them is that victory was not against a top 25 team or even an SEC opponent, which probably explains why there was no change to them, as they are still number 15 in the top 25 poll. The countdown to the Texas Bedlam looks like it could be a SEC championship matchup. And the Houston Rockets are on a roll. Zach LaVine, there you see him from Chicago. He did play tonight without Lonzo Ball, but it was Houston that took control, and that was made clear as Şengün rolls through the lane and dunked it with some authority. But no worries, you know, Zach LaVine returned the favor later on. But the Rockets were the better team that night, winning the game. Final score, 143-107. And that does it for your sports. Until next time, I'm Ray Robinson.
Thank you, Ray. All right, we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can stream our daily newscast and much more using your connected TV. Just download Crossroads Today Plus on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. For the first time, President Biden allowing Ukraine to fire long-range missiles on targets inside Russia. It comes after Russia unleashed its third largest attack against Ukraine this year. Russia targeting power plants and energy infrastructure.
For the first time, President Biden allowing Ukraine to use long-range missiles to strike inside Russia. It's a major reversal in U.S. policy. U.S. officials say a reason for the change, the 10,000 North Korean troops arriving to fight alongside the Russians. In his nightly address, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says the missiles will speak for themselves.
Такі речі не анонсують. Ракети самі за себе скажуть. Обов'язково. Слава Україні!
The focus of Ukraine's new capabilities is expected to be in Russia's Kursk region. That's where the North Korean troops have joined some 50,000 Russian troops trying to recapture the land Ukraine seized months ago.
The key point here is that Kursk is Russia. And if incoming President Trump calls for negotiations, the Ukrainians are going to need Kursk as a bargaining chip at the table with Mr. Putin.
The U.S. had already given Ukraine shorter-range missiles, only to be used on Ukrainian territory seized by Russia.
I think for the Russians, they're going to regard this as a major escalation. But the reality is they're going to have to wait for the next administration, the Trump administration, and see actually where policy truly lies.
Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin speaking hours before the policy change went public.
This war could end today. It could have ended 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago if Putin would have decided to make the right decision and pull his forces out of Ukraine.
Biden's reversal comes 2 months before he leaves the White House. President-elect Trump claims he is the only person who can bring both sides together to end the war. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
Downtown Victoria is starting to look a lot like Christmas, starting with the decorations on the county courthouse. A lighting company from Victoria spent most of the day Saturday stringing up over 500 lights around the courthouse and hanging several 8-foot diameter wreaths. Michael Amador says he looks forward to decorating the courthouse each year.
There are over 500 bulbs on this job. Like I said, it generally takes 2 days, and then when we're done, it'll turn itself off, it'll turn itself on, and they'll give us a call to come out and take it down. So come by, enjoy the lights, take a picture.
The courthouse lights will be up and operational throughout the Christmas season. Santa Claus made a special visit to the Victoria Mall this weekend, kicking off the holiday season with a festive celebration. Families and children from the local community gathered to greet Santa, enjoy a lively parade, and compete in fun dance contests. The mall was filled with holiday cheer as children and families took part in games and holiday crafts.
Tablet, a baby life set, and nails. 1,000 dinosaurs.
Santa's arrival marked the start of an unforgettable holiday season for everyone. And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We want to know, have you already started decorating for Christmas? Okay, let's take a look. 38% of you say yes, you have. And 60% of you say no. 2% of you say that you plan to. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. The time is now 6:45 on our Monday morning. Still to come on Sunrise, how the price of cocoa is impacting small business owners this holiday season. Okay, it is time to celebrate those birthdays. Happy birthday to Jennifer. Happy 15th birthday, Jennifer. We love you so much. Have a great day, babe girl. You are the best thing in the world.
Oh, that's so sweet. Happy birthday, Jennifer. And also happy birthday to Kenton. Happy birthday to the world's best popo and father-in-law. We love you so much and hope you have an awesome day.
Happy birthday to Chloe. Happy birthday, Chloe, from Kylie and all your family.
Happy birthday, Chloe. And also happy birthday to Claudia. Happy birthday to the best mother and wife. Aw, we love you so much, from your kids and your husband. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com, click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
All right, the time is now 6:46 on our Monday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today, or maybe you celebrated over the weekend.
That's right, or over the weekend. Happy birthday. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey, Luke, I am so excited to host the CMA Awards again.
Nashville, here we come.
Hang tight, honey, got a pocket full of money and I'm headed straight home to you.
Randy, what are you doing here?
I'm hosting the CMA Awards with y'all. Country music's biggest night is almost here. Join us for all the excitement live from Nashville. It's the CMA Awards right here on KAVU ABC 25. Y'all ready to do this?
I can pull off bell bottoms.
Sure you can, buddy.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure a lot of y'all heard me talk about a couple cold fronts, not just one front coming away today, but yes, there is another one coming away about mid this week on Wednesday. Well, we're going to look at that now. But the first one is coming off this first low trough that is digging real far south into the Rockies, just like I thought it would. But that is actually going to make things a little bit different. We'll look at that here right after this, because you can see that trough spawning that front coming through central Texas, coming our way at around noontime today. But the second front is coming off this second gigantic upper level low trough. I had to zoom so far out just so you can see how big this thing is, spanning thousands of miles wide. But that's going to come our way, I'm thinking, on Wednesday, coming through the Crossroads, probably early Wednesday, like Wednesday morning, bringing some lovely temperatures. We'll look at those temperatures right after this. I finally fixed the temperatures, so we're looking at that after this. But look at that first low. You can see the one that's the one that dug real far south in the Rockies, the one that's over it right now. That's going to push northeast into the central plains as we go into later today. This is 7 p.m. today. But here's the thing. Last week, we were thinking that this gigantic second low trough that's coming out of the Pacific would park itself right here in the central United States, right over the central plains. But what that first low is going to do, because it's moving further north than we anticipated, that too is also going to bring that second low trough a little bit further north, bringing all the colder temperatures way up there in northern United States. But don't worry, we're still going to get a little bit cool and actually a little bit chilly as we go into Wednesday and Thursday. Here we go, looking at your temperatures as we go into Wednesday morning when that front's coming through, starting out in the little bit chilly 50s, but then we warm into the lovely 70s for highs on Wednesday. I'm thinking low and mid 70s for highs on Wednesday. Then we're going to drop down into the low chilly low 40s and upper 30s for Thursday morning and even Friday morning as well. So I think y'all should get those heaters ready to go. But we're going to take a look at that and more coming up later on Sunrise.
Small businesses across the country are hoping for the best this holiday season. However, many owners say inflation is putting the squeeze on shops to raise prices. For example, one New Jersey chocolate store owner says rising cocoa prices and labor has forced him to raise prices 3 times this year. However, surveys by the National Federation of Independent Businesses indicate that Americans plan to spend big during the holidays. Small business owners are hoping that's the case, and that robust spending will help make up for years of price increases. Standing desks are a big seller, and the market for them is expected to grow in the coming years. Researchers found that prolonged standing may not improve heart health and could even cause other problems, while prolonged sitting has been long associated with obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular diseases. Researchers found standing did not reduce the risk and increased a person's risk of circulatory problems. Researchers say the key to staying healthy is moving and interrupting long stretches of sitting or standing. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Learn what they're doing about offensive street names in the Golden State. Breaking news, Spirit Airlines filed for bankruptcy this morning after mounting losses, unaffordable debt, and increased competition for bargain-seeking airline passengers, and the inability to merge with other airlines left it little choice. The airline said it will continue to operate as it restructures its debt. In a statement, Spirit says guests can continue to book and fly without interruption and can use all tickets, credits, and loyalty points as normal. Other major airlines like American Airlines, United, and Delta have filed for bankruptcy at some point in the past 25 years. California is in the process of removing names from streets, parks, and other places that contain what many say is a derogatory term for Indigenous women. Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill into law in 2022 that calls for the removal of the term squaw from several places across the state. The state will rename 30 locations across California. The new names will appear this January. The state consulted with Native American tribes to come up with the new names. Police in New Orleans are investigating 2 shootings that left 2 people dead and 9 others wounded. This happened Sunday afternoon during a second-line parade. Investigators say the first shooting hurt 8 people. They say someone in a car fired into the crowd. Police say they've recovered shell casings from at least 2 different weapons. They say about 45 minutes later, another shooting happened. The gunfire hit several people. Police are trying to determine if the 2 shootings are related. Renovations are done at Brownson Park on Victoria's south side. The upgrades include a shaded play structure, a swing set, rubber surfacing for safety, interactive musical instruments, secure fencing, and a freshly repainted basketball court. It's one of the many projects the city Parks and Recreation departments have planned ahead. And looking ahead, the department plans to add a splash pad at the Children's Park and Riverside Park, with construction expected to start in 2026. Federal support for Texas after spring storms and flooding hits $1.6 billion. FEMA reports Texas counties that were part of disaster declarations received that funding. Calhoun County received federal funds after storms there in May. Then after Hurricane Beryl in July, Jackson, Wharton, and Matagorda counties were part of disaster declarations. Homeowners, renters, and businesses also became eligible to apply for FEMA individual assistance and the U.S. Small Business Administration Disaster Loan Program. A new alert system is being offered by the City of Victoria. Residents can get notifications about trash pickups and water services. If you're already a trash or utility customer, you're automatically subscribed. Come to crossroadstoday.com to learn how to sign up. How disagreements about a Texas death row inmate's guilt became a legal battle between branches of government. Read this story by the Texas Tribune on our website, crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite you to experience our new digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a final look at our gusty forecast with Parker. Parker, is quite windy out there.
You're right, Carolyn. It is very windy out there. I just want y'all to make sure to please be careful on the roads this morning, because we're seeing gusts up to about 30 to 35. Occasionally 40 at times, so just be careful. That wind will surely be tossing your car back and forth on the road this morning. But it's a warm 80 degrees for November 18th in Port Lavaca on the coast right now. Everybody else is seeing upper 70s this morning. But why that is because we got a front on the way, and that's going to cool us off as we go into the afternoon just a little bit. But before that front arrives, we actually have a couple spotty showers out there right now. They actually just started developing about half an hour ago, but all the big stuff is up in North Texas. You can see all the severe warnings that are up there. That's going to come our way as we go into at around noontime. But good news is no severe weather. We're going to look at that severe risk in just a second. 83 for the high in Port Lavaca. I think that shower activity will get to you at about 1 p.m. In Victoria, I'm thinking about noontime is when that front arrives, bringing some showers and maybe some weak thunderstorms. 84 for the high today, and that's in the morning. And in Cuero, I'm thinking a little bit cooler, 80 for the high today. That's going to be in the afternoon. That's because your front's going to arrive in the morning time. I'm thinking about 11 a.m. with the showers and the thunderstorms. But like I was just saying, no severe weather is expected today. All the severe weather is up in North Texas, actually in the Dallas area, where I'm from. If you do see any stronger thunderstorms, though, they might contain gusty winds up to maybe 40 miles an hour, prompting a special weather statement. But out there in the tropics, Sarah is no longer with us. If it does reform, it's going to go towards Florida. But for us, we've got yet another front coming on Wednesday, and that's going to bring the 70s to stay for good all the way into the weekend until we bring that north the southerly wind and the 80s.
All right, thank you, Parker.
Yeah, of course.
And thank y'all for being with us this morning. Join Shauna, Don, Maclovio, and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Make it a great Monday.